Alright, I think we can start. Let's now share our latest live stream from all different groups. Not all, just different groups. One nation at a time. Let me forward our let me forward the link. Right. One nation at a time. And then some. Alright, let's start. I guess we can. Yep. Welcome to Soul of the Market. We are now live once again for 2022 second quarter, and we just entered the first day of May, May 1, Labor Day. There was a time, maybe from the previous administration or previous regime, when May 1 hits Sunday, the next day will be holiday or no work, but I think it's no longer the practice now. So I don't really care much, but whatever it is right now, Bitcoin doesn't care. All right, so we're going to talk about Bitcoin, one nation at a time. All right, so first we have El Salvador last year, and then we have El Salvador last year declaring Bitcoin as a legal tender. Is it favorable with the International Monetary Fund, the United Nations, the European Central Bank, Wall Street, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of International Settlements? Of course not, because Bitcoin actually breaks. Bitcoin being a legal tender actually breaks or destroys or ruins their plan on adopting what? Central banking digital currencies. Alright, so when we talk about central banking digital currencies, it's not Bitcoin, it's not cryptocurrency, it's just another form of your money. It's just another form of your money right now being digitalized. Plus, you have no more control of that money anymore. The government can control your spending, can control how you earn it, can control what? What are the things you can buy? Alright? So this is no longer, once you get CBDC, you're no longer in a democratic society. You are now living, let's say it as it is. You are now living in an authoritarian regime or an authoritarian society. As long as you want that, no problem. Right? But sooner or later, you will realize you don't want that. Nobody wants that, because being in an authoritarian society is inorganic, and it is as inorganic as inflation. Inflation, we've been discussing this from previous live stream. Inflation is what? Is the product of central banking. That is not inherent, that is not natural, that is not organic. Inflation is never a natural thing when you are what? When you are in an organic economy. What is an organic economy? Of course, the world around us, diba? Yung mga hayop, the animals, the land, sea, air, rivers, and things. How do they live together? How do they coexist? That's the natural economy. All right, and then the Ashkenazi Jews came in, the Anunnakis came in, and they ruined everything. Okay, the Khazarian mafia pretended to be communist. They ruined everything. and then eventually, when the day we were born, di ba, mga, those who were born from 1940s up to now, we wake up in a society that is already what? Under the inflation economy, or the debt-based financial system, which has to change, okay? Because this is a system that actually destroys humanity slowly. Why? Because this system is designed for you to just work 50 years of your life and then die on the next 3 years. Don't you get that? Don't you get that? Okay, so you will just going to try, you will be born, be educated in the next what? Be educated in the next 20 years, attend school for the rest of 20 for the next 20 years of your life. You will be going to school, and then the next 10 years you will go to work, you will raise a family, and then the next 10 years you keep on working, you try to win the rat race, you keep on struggling on for the fiat currency, for the money, you keep on working hard for the fortune. That is what? That is printed for you, all right? Etc., etc. Until you reach 50, 55, 65, you have to retire. You can no longer enjoy life anymore. That's not life. That is inorganic. That's not how humans were designed. Okay? So, why? How is that? Somebody must be controlling the system. These are the Khazar mafia right now. That is actually what? On the run and in desperate situation. That's why they have the Ukraine situation and the COVID-19 situation all messed up together, because they are in panic right now and they are in desperate mood. And the only weapon left for them is what? Is the mainstream media, because most of the people are still what? Wired and programmed according to their what? According to their plan. Yung plan ng mga Khazar mafias still active in most of the people's mind. Okay, but once most of the people breaks free, it's no longer that way. Okay, so hindi na siya ganun. Pag nagising na, we are now in the age of Aquarius. We are now in the age of awakening. So people are starting to realize they're being conned, they are wired, they are programmed in a way that it shouldn't be. Okay? So let's start with our Bitcoin, one nation at a time. This is not a revolution. This is not a forced revolution, or could be a bloody revolution, but it's a revolution that is overdue and should happen naturally. Okay, so mangyayari whether some people like it or not. Okay? So let's do that. And then let me share my screen now. Bitcoin, one nation at a time, from El Salvador to Central Africa. Actually, we are referring to the Central African Republic. If you are listening you have listened to the news this previous week. Okay, we have the second nation to declare Bitcoin as a legal tender. What does it mean when we say Bitcoin as a legal tender? Meaning, these governments, especially El Salvador and Central Africa, they are now honoring Bitcoin as what? As money in their country. Meaning, if you own Bitcoin, if you have Bitcoin, you can actually buy things once you are within the sovereign or within the borders of these countries. So in other words, you don't need dollars, you don't need peso, you don't need anything. You just need Bitcoin and you're good to go. You can spend your Bitcoin wherever you are in El Salvador and wherever you are in Central African Republic. But okay, the World Bank and the United Nations and all other Khazarian mafia organization that looks like legal are not happy with this. Okay, so hindi sila happy dito. Why? Because it will give El Salvador and Central Africa independence and freedom, not equal with any nations. Okay, so hindi sila yung pinaka free and independent right now as far as uh, running a nation is concerned. Okay, so because they are no longer what they are no longer bound under IMF, they are no longer bound under the Bank of International Settlement, World Bank, European Central Bank, and all other central banks. They no longer care anymore. So what's the effect now? El Salvador's GDP now just jumped more than I think 5% in less than a year. So maganda na yung economy nila ngayon. Their economy is now improving by leaps and bounds. Okay? Because they are no longer part of the debt-based financial system that has been going on around, that has been choking their economy ever since the Ronald Reagan regime. Okay, they are also being used by United States during the Reagan administration as a what? As a weapons drop off to support the Sandinistas, the Contras during the 80s. So yun ang kanilang kalagayan dati. They are banana republic, but no longer. It's no longer a banana republic. What's turning out to be a banana republic right now is United States of America. All right. So what's with Central Africa? Ayan. Okay, the heart of Africa. If you don't have any idea where is Central Africa, of course it's in the middle of Africa, right here at the center of the African continent. So it's not surrounded by oceans or any bodies of water. So nasa gitna siya, wala siyang dagat. So there's no Central African Navy, of course, or maybe the Central African Republic Coast Guard. It doesn't exist. So what's the new thing right now between El Salvador and Central African Republic? One, a citizen in El Salvador. If I'm a citizen in El Salvador and I have a Bitcoin worth 500,000 pesos. 500,000 pesos, not dollars, okay? Because 500,000 pesos will actually, if I send 500,000 pesos through the SWIFT network, it will trigger what? An anti-money laundering. Okay, so it will trigger anti-money laundering. Because that's the law. That's the law that is written and passed through different governments to keep the poor and the wealthy. Okay, wealthier, poorer. So if they're telling you that anti-money laundering law was passed because of to suppress terrorism, drug trafficking, child trafficking, it is wrong, because those child trafficking, drug trafficking, and money laundering are perpetrated by those who wrote the law themselves. Okay, so the purpose of the law is to keep the poor poorer and the wealthy wealthier. Ayun lang yon. So we have to erase that notion that anti-money laundering council is doing something good to every nation. That's wrong. It's totally garbage. All right. So imagine this. I'm a citizen of El Salvador with 500,000 worth of Bitcoin, 500,000 pesos worth of Bitcoin. How much is that? Probably 2 Bitcoins, 3 Bitcoins, no, 4 Bitcoins, probably. Yeah, 4 Bitcoins and something, and some Satoshis. Okay, then I want to send money to someone in Central Africa. Okay, so I'm just gonna send probably 2 Bitcoins. Okay, there you go. You have 2 Bitcoins going towards South Africa directly, without the permission of France, permission from the Anti-Money Laundering Council. They don't care. We don't care. Who cares? They cannot touch Bitcoin. Okay, that's why Bitcoin fixes poverty. So once that money goes into Central Africa, it will going to help a lot. It will going to fix their infrastructure, which has been deprived from them for many years. Okay, so it will improve their agriculture industry. which was deprived from them for many years. So ganun yan, ang nangyari, ginutom sila ng European nations. They were starved, starved to death on purpose so that they will be dependent what to the European nations. Ganun ang ginawa sa kanila for so many years. So ngayon, Bitcoin fixes that. That particular poverty and famine and starvation was man-made, made by white men to the people of Central African Republic. So wala nang ganun ngayon. Once Bitcoin becomes legal tender, wala nang ganun. Okay, so Bitcoin fixes poverty. That's true. And soon, poor nations will do the same. Poor nations, because for example, Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. Bangladesh already declared bankruptcy because they cannot pay their loans to the World Bank, to the IMF anymore. They already canceled all their future payments to the lenders kasi wala na silang pera. They can no longer pay anything anymore. Okay? So what's the solution now? They should adopt Bitcoin. Otherwise, they will go hungry. So ganun 'yon. So ano nangyari sa kanila? Bakit sila nabaon sa utang, whatever? Kasi akala nila tutulungan, akala nila yung utang is tulong. Okay? So hindi nila alam utang 'yun. Grabe, no? Imagine what a debt-based financial system can do to a country. And every time an inflation rise up to 10%, 4%, about 1 million people will die in this area because of starvation. Ganun ang effect nun. That's why if you watch The Big Short, sinabi ni Ben Rickards, do not celebrate. Why are you dancing? When two of his clients na nag-consult sa kanya about how to short the US property market, they made money. They made about $40 million each on that particular Big Short. They shorted the market. But the effect of that Big Short, sabi nga ni Ben Rickards, 1 million Americans lost their jobs. And in effect to that, 1 million more that are dependent to those 1 million Americans starved to death. So we shouldn't be actually celebrating the victory of the shorters, okay? Ayan. Or the success of the shorters. Ayun yun. So you watch the movie The Big Short, and I'm only focused on what Ben Rickards, one of the characters there, the true to life character. Kung yung reaction niya, what's his actions, the consequences of his actions. Okay? And this is going to be a very short live stream. How are you going to benefit? Okay, so one, just keep stacking up on satoshis. Satoshis is the atomic level or atomic unit of Bitcoin, meaning parang centavo, but it's even smaller than a centavo. Okay, by any means legal and morally possible. Yeah. Anyway, Bitcoin is above legal. Okay? It's above the law. It's the only currency, it's the only asset that is above the law. Okay? Exchanges, mining, transaction forwarding, that's where you're going to get your Bitcoins. And then soon your country will be using Bitcoin and there's no avoiding it. Okay, so let's go back to just keep on stacking up on satoshis. Just because Bitcoin, let me open a browser. Just because Bitcoin is $37,000 now doesn't mean you cannot buy one Bitcoin anymore. Okay? You can just say PHP 10,000 pesos to BTC. That's what? 00 yung exchange niya eh. Masyado na kasi maliit kaya hindi niya na kinonvert ng gusto. That's 0050 ang exchange rate. Balik tayo doon. Let's go back to that particular let's go back to the particulars. Ito, 10,000 PHP is 0.0050 Bitcoin, meaning you can still buy Bitcoin without what? Without a board lot, without a minimum board lot. So let's say if you have 10,000 pesos right now, you can still buy Bitcoin from other exchanges, meaning 0.0, meaning you can have 0.0050 Bitcoins in your wallet once you invest or buy 10,000 pesos worth of Bitcoin. So meaning you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. It's not necessary. So this is one way of stacking up in Satoshis, meaning pag sinabi natin Satoshis, that you're only at the atomic unit of Bitcoin. So you can buy Bitcoin. Can I buy Bitcoin at 1,000 with my 1,000 pesos? Sure. Hindi naman yan stock. It's not a stock market. So meron lang bagong zero dun sa harap. So sana next time yung zero mo nasa sa kanan, wala sa kaliwa. Alright? So ganyan ang Bitcoin. You can buy 500 pesos, you can. Depending what exchange you are subscribed to or what cryptocurrency exchange you are member of. Okay, so that's 0.0025. Do you want to buy, can you buy 5,000 pesos worth of Bitcoin? You can. Wala lang yung zero sa harap. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Just open an account here. Wala akong I don't have any commission code here. I'm just going to refer this exchange, because this is the exchange where you can actually buy and sell Bitcoin on spot. And then you can actually sell Bitcoin and then cash it. You buy sometimes some OFWs, they use Binance to remit money using Bitcoin or using other cryptocurrency from where they are to their families here in the Philippines. So ang style niyan is something like this. Let's say for example, if I'm an OFW and I'm a seaman, I'm on board the ship, and one of my children or one of my relatives is sick in the Philippines and they need money as soon as possible. You cannot, since you're on board the ship, there's no remittance center on board the ship. You cannot send money right away. What you can do is that, since you have access to your a seaman can have access to his bank account or a GCash, not GCash, maybe an online bank account, and then buy some crypto, buy some Bitcoin here in Binance and sell it at spot price, and then send that money via GCash, okay, to his or her relatives back in the Philippines. That's another way of using this. But I'm not keeping my Bitcoin in exchange. I'm still going to use, once I bought or earned my Bitcoins, I'm going to move it right here. One of the hard cold wallets, I will going to move it right away, right here. Or one of my Lightning Network node. Similar to this. Okay, so similar to that picture on the right. I'm running two of these two forward transactions so that I can earn satoshis. Not much, but I can earn at least 10 satoshis per transactions. Just running my Lightning network node. So today, right now, it's not really. You're not gonna make millions. You're not going to be millionaire or billionaire overnight doing this. But however, it's a consistent way of stacking up your satoshis, as I mentioned in my first on my last slide. Okay, so that's how are you going to benefit from this. So once every nation once every nation started to stock on satoshis or declare Bitcoin as a legal tender, and you are stocking up on satoshis. Imagine imagine what you can do with your satoshis with in a country that is accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. You're gonna live like a king or a queen in that country. Alright? So ganun lang kasimple yun. So uh, don't make money as a goal, because money is just a tool. Okay? Money is just a tool. Don't set a specific amount of money as a goal. Like you want by age 50 you should have 10 million pesos. By age 60 you should have 100 million pesos. No. Stock up on satoshis. Because once every nation declares Bitcoin as a legal tender, all the possibility beyond 100 million. Imagine that, with you holding one. You running a Lightning Network node or running a Bitcoin mining. Alright? So basically that's it. I think we can continue the prospects of living like a king and a queen next live stream next Sunday. So basically that's it. I think we're good. So thank you very much for watching Soul of the Market. I am now ending my transmission.